Hello everyone, this is Joey with the Penn-Reading Industrial Division and welcome to another update on the layout. As you can see, there has been a lot of progress in Emma as we have been adding track for the industries, and I have some number 6s, some Atlas switches here that go into Atlas track, code 83 actually, and you can see the amount of cars that can actually fit for this industry. Now, the industry can only take about 6 40-foot box cars, but it's good to know that I can add a few cars here off spot that need to be spotted, or maybe there are empties that need to be picked up and sent off somewhere. On this track here, we have the storage track. This is a storage track that is for extra cars for the industries. Now, what's really cool is it has a nice little shape here, as you can see, and it does decline, or it goes to a lower grade onto the foam itself. And I used a very small cork row bed, as you can see here. I don't know if you can see right here, my hand is here. I built it up, and what I did was I added a few pieces and just pretty much brought it downward to make it a nice slope. That way it goes nice and flush with the foam, and gives a nice effect that you had the main lines and the branch line above the industries. And you can see here to the left, same thing. This piece will have to be added right here. There needs to be a little piece that be added over here. That way it becomes a nice smooth transition onto the foam. But mostly I'm using micro-engineering and Atlas switches. These switches are going to be hand thrown, as well as one of the switches here for the switch that actually comes off the branch line will be hand thrown as well. Now on here we'll be using the Walther switch machines on all of these mainline switches, and that'll be the next step along with finishing the wiring. And speaking of Emma and Emma Junction, all these switches, I have eliminated about 2 sets of feeders, and basically I remember that you don't need to add feeders right on the switch. You can add feeders on the tracks in between the switches. And so what I did was I eliminated a lot of the feeders on the switches, so that way the kinks can be resolved on some of these crossovers, so the trains actually do run smoother now. And also I added feeders in between the switches instead of right here, and where you're going to have to drop the feeders down and make it flush with the holes and let them match. I could just lay the track down and straighten the track out, so that where when I'm ready I could drop the feeders. So I have the feeders here now, and actually this actually worked out, so I'm able to drop these feeders right into that hole. Same thing here, I'm adding feeders to the storage track. The next thing is going to be adding feeders to all these different straightaways in between the switches. All the switches are soldered together except for here, so this is the next step as far as continuing the track work on Emma. So let's look over on this side. Okay, so bore oil is the next thing that needs to be completed. Emma cement is now completed. The only thing left to do is add the little switch stands from Caboose Industries. And speaking of Caboose Industries, during the 2023 NMRA convention that I went to, I was talking to the gentleman, and he had a display. And on the display, he showed that you can use these micro-engineering switches and still use the Caboose Industries. So they have little holes here, and with these holes, you take a little bit of brass tubing, right? And you solder or glue it to the the points here on that switch throwing mechanism, and that way you'll be able to use these little handheld switch stands. And for the life of me, on the original Penn-Reading Industrial Division, I could not get these to work. The holes are too small. I was looking to glue it, using styrene, all different ways. It did not work. And then I saw that, and the first thing I said to the gentleman at the booth was, you got to be kidding me. This is how you do it? This is what you use? And he laughed. He's like, yeah, that's it. And I said, thank you, because this is mind-blowing to me, and it's like a eureka moment. So I have a lot of pieces of brass, and that's the next step. It's going to be adding those little brass pieces. That way I can hook up the switch stands. So I have the crossover in place here. I do have some code 70 rail and some code 83. And the reason for the mix, it's industry, you know, it's not the best rail. A lot of the rails, you know, are just laid in so that way they can be used for the industry, right? So that's the goal for that. So yeah, so all that's pretty much done except for this switch being added here, and boiler oil is the next thing. And I'm probably going to do that in the next day or so. By the time this video comes out on the channel, it'll probably be done already. And so the next step is to add another track that way. And actually, let me go back over here because I totally forgot to talk about it. But actually, before that, I was able to straighten out this whole section. This is all kinked out. And I think between the feeders being positioned a different way, and now that I think the foam was contracting and expanding and all that because of the humidity we had in Arkansas in the past few weeks. Now I was able to actually fix the track to where this is way more straight, and the trains actually don't buckle or sway side to side now. They're actually a lot more smoother, and actually I need to fix this right here. There's a little too of a kink, but other than that, it works a lot better. The trains run a lot smoother. And so I'm excited to finally start the wiring on these main lines along with the switches. So let's go to the other side really quickly. Okay, something I forgot to mention is that you have a crossover here, a long crossover. So this goes onto the crossover here, and so you can work the industries on the facing switches, or the trailing switches rather. And then the other industries can be worked where these are the facing switches this way. And so you throw the switch here, and you can fit a bunch of cars down here, and this is just another track for storage. And I'm able to fit a lot of cars in here, as you can see. Let's try to. They want to make a join here. There we go. So just extra space to hold cars. And you can fit about maybe 6-7 cars in there. Along with in here, you can fit more cars in that way. So that straightaway needs to be completed. I ran out of rail joiners, regular size rail joiners. The micro engineering are a little too small for what I'm using right now. It's good for the code 70, code 83 micro engineering, but for the Atlas track, it's a nightmare. So I'm not going to use that. But I'm going to purchase a few more packs of it and do that. And then that's pretty much it for this side of Emma. I'm going to move the camera here for a second. Now, I'm thinking of a different kind of vision on this layout, and I recently posted it in the NMRA Facebook group about the one town concept. And so I'm expanding Emma to the other side of the layout. So Vine Street is pretty much just the main road that runs through Emma, and it's going to be a major town. And so, like, if I cut this layout in half and stretch it just along, make it a nice straightaway, it'll go about 28 feet long. And even though it got loops, the concept is, one, we're going to turn this around here. I'm going to repaint this. Even though it's a Pennsylvania Railroad station, Vine Street is going to be the main station since it's going to be all part of the same town. And I'm going to make this the Rennings depot, and that way the Pennsylvania Railroad, it has the main station, which is Vine Street. So I may do something like that, or may take this depot out completely. I mean, my friend did a great job on it, and it looks great. I may keep it I may keep it for more of a mains away building for the workers, since this is a nice industrial area, so that may work for that purpose. I'm not sure just yet. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. I really will appreciate it. So let's go to the other side and talk about Vine Street. Okay, so here we are at Vine Street, and the next step is to take all these trees down off of this backdrop. My niece worked really hard on them. I'm going to use them on the other side, on Emma itself, where the industries are, on top of the buildings. And there's more than enough there to use it. The goal with this now is to make this a whole city backdrop. And I was going to make it just a big town. So I have some of these radical flats that are, what do you call it, just up to see what I want to do as far as a city. I don't want it being taller than Emma itself, otherwise it'll look kind of funny. So the thing is to make it to where it's a nice city backdrop, and the tracks are like entrenched down below the city, kind of like in Manhattan in a way, or maybe in Pittsburgh for sure. But I have here, I finished building this whole tunnel mountain. This is going to be part of Durban Grove on this side, so the only separation of the entire layout from each side is going to be Durban Grove. Now there is a separation on the other side, but it's going to be part of Vine Street and the whole town of Emma itself. But this is going to be something totally different. And I'm thinking about putting buildings or building flats up here, and then a road going across, an overpass on here, so that way, so maybe something kind of like this, and then having the road go across, so like this continues from city to city. I mean, the train goes underneath the buildings, enters into the city itself, and adds some nice 3D structures along the backdrop. So that's the plan. I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but that's the goal. I worked out some of the kinks here on the track. There were some bad kinks happening here through just the expansion of the foam from the humidity, which was going to happen, and it was expected, and so I fixed that. The trains are running better now. And then I think I'm going to turn the camera here, unless that's kind of pointing, right? Yeah, okay. So here the ladder has been completed. The ladder's done, that's ready. Next thing is going to be adding the caboose track and a place for the steam engines and diesels to run around and hook up to the trains or whatnot. I'm trying to think of what else. I need to add feeders on this passing track. There are feeders here. There are feeders here, so there'll be the passing track. I need to add feeders on, and just finish the track work back here. And like I said, we're going to be adding a nice cityscape behind the tracks. All right, coming along here, we installed the turntable. I have to fix the foam here. It's sunk in, and so once that's raising up and braced, it'll be nice and flush with the turntable. I also have a roundhouse here. I may add another stall, so I may be doing a kit bash with two of the roundhouses together. I'm not sure what I'm going to do over here now. I may make that more buildings, or there's like I said, Joe, my buddy Joe had that concept of having the trains go in there, so it acts like another roundhouse and in there. So even though I can't fit the full thing, I may cut it in half and add another one back there. I'm not sure just yet what I really want to do, but that's an idea. The track here is going to be mostly for mains away and diesel locomotives, I'm thinking. I do have a coal tipple, so that's going to go right here. Some water, like a little, not water tower, but I forgot what you call them. Water spouts. I have no idea. I keep forgetting the name of it. But sanders, anything that would be utilized for the steam locomotives, for water and coal, ash pits. I have all that stuff. That's going to go right here. The tower is going to stay here. They'll be in charge of the yard operations and the main lines and the branch line connection to the and the yard lead. This is technically a yard lead. So the goal is that this is the Pennsylvania Railroad main line. It runs between Oil City, Pennsylvania, and to Williamsport. There's a fictional Reading branch line that's called the Emma branch, and that comes out of Williamsport and interchanges with the Pennsylvania Railroad here in Emma, and it's pretty much the main line that comes off of Oil City. It's just it's It's just like a branch off the main lines. Even though it's the main line, it's called the industrial line. So it's the Penn-Reading industrial line. Even though the last called the Penn-Reading industrial division, because the division entails includes Pittsburgh, Oil City, Williamsport, Shenango, I think is how you say it. So all those different cities, right? And so, but the rail line itself is called the industrial line, and this is the Pennsylvania Railroad industrial line. And then you have the Reading Emma branch. So it really, pretty much, they work together. The both railroads, they work in the same city of Emma, and they go to separate ways. One goes to Williamsport, and the other one goes to Oil City, or to Harrisburg, or down to Pittsburgh. So you got all that kind of product being moved in and out of the steel plants, out of Pittsburgh to Bethlehem Steel, and then you have like your local mixed freights and stuff that serves the town locally. So that's the idea with the operating system, is building trains and breaking down trains, and have a what do you call a local working Emma. So that's the plan for what I got going on now. And we're going to go and talk about this area just a little bit, even though I went a little off tangent on the operations side. So here is my friend's beautiful scale trains turbine. It is a magnificent locomotive and just beautiful set itself. I just have it here because I was testing and running it. It's going to be weathered very soon from my business, Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. So what I'm going to do here is, I thought about having a bunch of trees in the mountainside and then slopes down this way and then slopes down this way. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It may be more a cityscape. I thought about starting here and working my way up and having trees that come up this way, and then have a row that comes through here. So this would be all trees. So it'll be like kind of a city, a divider or a view blocker from this section of the layout. Even though it's all part of the same town, it just separates itself to make the layout look a little bigger. And so there'll be, like I said, a slope of trees that comes up this way, and then a road going across, and then a bunch of trees over here, and then maybe a little rock wall, and then maybe it's trees or something over here to connect with the Allegheny secondary line. So again, for operations purpose, like I said, we got trains coming from Oil City on the Pennsylvania Railroad that come here, and also from Oil City you do have a connection to the Allegheny secondary, which is right down here. And those two tracks will go into the old cassettes from the old layout, and that will be the staging for trains coming on and off the layout per the Allegheny secondary. So guys, that pretty much wraps up this update. Like I said, the goals are to take these dividers down, take all the trees off, and then place them along the pink foam back here above these buildings. I started working on a video not too long ago on how I am doing the backdrops here, so look for that video coming soon. Also continue building installing the switches and the feeders for the Emma Industries, and then finishing the wiring on all of the main lines, and then we are ready to start track weathering, and then eventually weathering and scenery on the base here. So guys, I appreciate everybody's support. If you haven't, follow me on Facebook. I have a Penn-Reading Industrial Division Facebook page, and it's getting a lot of traction. I'm really proud of it. I do trivia and some facts about the Pennsylvania Railroad each week on a Tuesday. Pretty much my Trivia Tuesday. You get a lot more updates that way on the Facebook channel. I do add some of the videos to the Facebook page. So videos from the channel I also post on my Facebook page. But you can check out a lot more of the updates and the progress on that page, and instead of waiting maybe a week, 2-3 weeks for an update video. So check out the Facebook page, and if you have any questions or there's any advice you can give me on this, I greatly appreciate it. And let me know what would you like to know about more of the operating. We're going to get more into the operations once I have all the track in place. I'll have a video describing the operations part, which will be a lot of fun. This layout is for operations along with running trains. And yeah, I think that's it. So guys, thank you so much. You guys have a great week, and we see you soon. And check out more running. Check out some more running videos coming very soon. You guys take care.